morning and happy Friday. Jordan Keck here, your complicated deal guy with your weekly market update. Quick reminder as well that Monday is Memorial Day, so I want to say thank you to the families of those who have passed in the line of service, and remember that we have the freedoms we do for a reason. And if you're having any plans this weekend, stay safe out there, drive safe. I know a lot of traffic, gonna be a hot one today. But kicking things off, unfortunately, interest rates also hot for the day and for the week, moving up a little bit from last week from 6.62 up to 6.65. And remember, this is the top tier scenario. So if you have 25% for down payment, big purchase price, high credit score, paying a little bit in points, this is the average for lenders across the country. So seeing a lot of clients pushing up into the high sixes, some even touching the sevens, unless you're looking at buying down the rate. As far as the weekly mortgage tip this week, wanted to talk about the Vantage Credit Score. So this is an alternative to FICO, and it's the first time ever, I think, as far as having an alternative version of a credit score. I talked a couple weeks ago, I think, about this coming out, expected that there was going to be years, or at least months before this might actually be implemented. Turns out we've got several lenders we have access to now, including the largest in the country, United Wholesale Mortgage, that is allowing us to be able to use Vantage scores for pricing. We've seen some clients that have benefited anywhere between $12,000 to $16,000 in credit, in lender credit for the same interest rate because of using Vantage versus FICO. This does take into account a lot of things like rent payments and utilities that weren't really accounted for on the FICO score. And so we have the opportunity of running both of those credit scores using the higher of the two. Right now, the only real risk-adjusted pricing for it is they take 20 points off of the Vantage score. So if somebody's credit comes up with a 780, they're actually pricing it with a 760, but still significantly better if the FICO is coming up at a 695. So if you have any clients that have been getting turned down, especially for conventional other types of loans because of low credit scores, let me know. Happy to run a Vantage score on them and see if we can't get some improvement and get them ready to move. Next up, still no deal in the Iran peace talks, but the pressure is growing on both sides. You've got the US having mounting pressure to keep interest rates and inflation low coming into election season before long, and then Iran facing continued strain from financial sanctions, restricted trade flow, and limited storage capacity for oil. The longer this goes, the worse it is for everybody. There have been many head fakes along the way, and so the market at this point really aren't wanting to overreact one way or the other on potential news wires saying we're close to a deal. There's just been too many head fakes, and so unless a deal is inked, markets are going to stay pretty calm. Next up, the new Fed Chair, Kevin Warsh, will be sworn in today by the President. Fed Chair Jerome Powell is going to be stepping down. And the biggest thing is his stance on inflation will be key for the markets and how he's going to be navigating that moving forward. It's unclear if we'll hear from Warsh today. It's possible he might make some comments that the markets could react to, but markets are also going to be closing early today for the 3-day weekend, so I'm not expecting a huge amount of volatility. People basically starting vacation mode a little early. Next, housing permits were up for April and starts were down slightly. While starts weren't down too much, they still beat estimates. They were expected to drop more, and then permits were up 5.8% for the month, also beating estimates. The only reason for the beat on expectations, though, was a jump in multifamily housing, which does not help supply with the single-family side of housing. Permits for single-family homes fell to the lowest levels since last August because the headline numbers take into account both single-family and multifamily. Next, Cotality's March single-family rent index showed rents up 1% for the month, now up 1.3% year over year, with an increase from 1.1% in February, but still very low. If you compare March to March of 24 to 25, that showed rents up 2.7% versus the March of 25 to 26, only showing the 1.3. So just a little more than half as much from the rents we saw just a year prior in the same period. Now, lastly here, pending home sales for April rose 1.4% above estimates of 1%, which is revised higher last month from 1.5 to 1.7, meaning that the headline number would have been even stronger if not for that positive revision. Year-over-year sales are up 3.2%, having now risen 3 months in a row despite higher interest rates from oil, showing some resiliency in the housing market. As always, hopefully this is helpful. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you next time. Take care.